All issues discussed on the following podcast are specifically relevant to Memphis and unincorporated Shelby County, including Arlington, Germantown, Lakeland, and Millington. Other jurisdictions, including Bartlett and Collierville, may have policies and procedures which differ from those discussed here. Check with your local building department to determine their requirements. Now, please join us for the Building Beat.
Welcome to the Building Beat. My name is Breana Miller, and I'm your host for this episode. Today, we'll be talking to Nidia Logan-Robinson, the Deputy Director for the Memphis and Shelby County Division of Planning and Development, about her experience with the initial implementation of the division's online permitting platform, the Develop 901 Citizen Portal, and the multidisciplinary nature of her work. Thank you for joining me, Nidia.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yes. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, Breana, I've been with the Division of Planning and Development for 5 years. It's been an awesome 5 years of learning and working with some really amazing people, both inside the organization and throughout the community. Before that, I worked in innovation consulting, and before that, I worked with nonprofit organizations primarily. This is my first formal foray into working inside government. It's been a great experience.
That's wonderful to hear. I'm so glad that you've been able to bring your talents to DPD. So let's get started. The Develop 901 Citizen Portal, for those who don't know, is our premier online permitting system. You don't have to come to the office. You can do it online if you need to submit an application. So this portal premiered, I'd say, October 6th, 2020. What were some of the steps and research that led to implementing a new online permitting platform?
The Develop 901 Citizen Portal can be reached by starting at develop901.com. That is the starting place to learn more about construction enforcement and land use and development in Shelby County, but it's also the starting point to beginning an application for a building permit or one of our land use approvals. Develop901.com. First step.
I think that's something all the listeners needed to hear for sure.
So you mentioned that we launched in 2020, and if anybody remembers what was happening in the year 2020, we were in the midst of a global pandemic, which is the perfect time to implement an online permitting system. So we made the transition during a time when the world was shutting down and everything was moving online. So the timing, it was certainly a stressful period, but the timing was perfect. Before the launch, a lot of work has to happen to get you to a successful implementation of an online system or really any new process. So very first thing we did was understand the requirements of a new system. So what works well for us now, what doesn't work well, and what do we want to improve upon in this new system? What gaps do we want to address? What new processes do we want to implement in this new system? What new opportunities do we have? So we asked ourselves a lot of questions about what the build of this new system should be like, and how that new build was going to contribute to the success of customer service delivery. We also had to understand what kinds of technology solutions were available in the government technology sector, what solutions other cities of similar size doing similar regulatory work were using, and how those systems were working well for them. We learned a lot from other places. And so we got to skip a lot of steps because we got to learn from them what didn't work well. So those were lessons we didn't have to learn on our own. And that was really beneficial. In advance of the launch in October, we actually launched a scaled down system, kind of a miniature version of the online system in April of 2020, just to allow people to continue to do business with us in the midst of the pandemic. All in all, I'll say that that transition was, though, change is always a difficult proposition, no matter what side of it you're on. Our customers and staff adapted well to the implementation, and honestly, we did not have a choice. You mentioned earlier that in the past, the only way to get a building permit or to file an application with our office was to show up in person, to come and present your physical person at our office and hand us a piece of paper. So in the midst of the pandemic, it was even more important that we provide alternatives to physical in-person service delivery. And so this was right on time.
Why was it necessary to make the change to a new permitting platform outside of the unexpectedness of the pandemic in 2020?
Well, it was an important transition for us because, one, we wanted to provide more options for our customers to interact with us. And one way to do that is through technology. We, of course, still provide in-person services. We, in fact, opened a new service center in downtown Memphis to accommodate more customers and to be more collaborative with our partners that work downtown. But we wanted to provide more service delivery options. And of course, an online platform is open 24/7. We also know that there are a lot of companies and entities that do business in Memphis, but they're not physically located in Memphis. So it gave us an opportunity to provide an option to our customers that are outside of the city, a more convenient option. And then, the big why is that the world is now online. Everyone wants the Amazon experience. They want it now. They want it in the palm of their hands. And so the Develop 901 Citizen Portal gives us an opportunity to provide an online service, because that's the expectation of our customers and the general public.
I'm going to bring up some numbers for you.
Okay.
At the end of 2023, more than 70,000 records were created on the Develop 901 Citizen Portal. Of that number, 73% of those records were submitted by various users like homeowners, contractors, property owners, businesses, consultants, etc. And, many of which are regular submitters to the portal. What do you think has led to more users on the platform going into the 4th year of implementation?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think that overall, members of the public and customers have been wanting an option like this for quite some time. And so having the online option is just a convenient way to do business with our office. It also allows us to deliver better information in a more seamless way. So it's just another point. Of course, you can always call our office. You can always visit our office. But now you have what we're growing into a one-stop shop, a one-stop portal to get access to information on how to complete a project from start to finish, what types of projects require a permit, what you should know before hiring a contractor, those kinds of things. That kind of information is now available in a better and more organized format on our website and on the Develop 901 portal. So I think that drives more and more people to the portal, but certainly people who do repeat business with us, now they don't have to drive to the office. This is a way to manage all of the permitted activity that they do with our office, as well as other regulatory agencies. They can manage all of that in one place. So yes, it's a record management system for us, but it's also a record management system for our customers. They can log on and see their permit history for years in the past. The general public can search for permit activity, what's happening in their neighborhood. They can see zoning enforcement complaints, that kind of activity in their neighborhood. So it's just a wealth of information for a variety of purposes. So I think that certainly encourages people to use it. And then again, technology is such a dominating factor in our everyday lives that people clamor for the technological option, and this is no different.
Absolutely. You mentioned other regulatory agencies. So planning and zoning applications, construction enforcement applications, those are submittable on the citizen portal. However, there are partner agencies like the City of Memphis Division of Engineering, the Memphis Fire Department, and other municipalities like Germantown, Lakeland, Arlington, Millington. So how does having partner agencies on the citizen portal benefit users and will even include division staff alike?
Yeah, this is such an important area. And when the concept of Develop 901 was born, the vision was that we would have multiple regulatory agencies working in this one platform to serve our collective customers, right? Because let's say a business is coming into the city of Memphis, to the county of Shelby. They're going to build a facility. Well, of course, they need a building permit and all of the trade permits that are required as a part of construction. But they may also need approvals from City of Memphis Engineering. They may also need inspections and the like from the fire department. They might also need some approval from the health department. There are just so many touch points throughout the various regulatory agencies that might be required for one company to stand up a business in the city or in the county. So it absolutely makes sense that that customer be able to use one portal to get their building permit, but also to get approvals and apply for permits from other regulatory agencies. So it makes the process much more seamless and we hope decreases the amount of time in the process from end to end among all of those regulatory agencies. That is the goal. Sharing a platform allows us to do that. The other important component is that the building permit itself requires collaboration. It requires the approval of a number of other regulatory agencies. Just depends on the scope of the building permit, but those agencies are required to collaborate on issuance of a building permit anyway. So all of us using this one platform better enables us to do that. We no longer have to shuffle these big plan sets from office to office. You can simply sit at your desk in your location and log on to the Develop 901 platform to issue your approval. So it works better for us as regulatory agencies to be collaborative and to make sure that we are responding timely to customer requests for approval. And also on the customer end, it makes it a little bit more transparent what is happening with their applications and approvals as it moves throughout the process. So they're able to manage these multiple regulatory requirements in one system as well. And I can see, if I am the plans examiner that's working on a building plan set, I can log in and see what other agencies have already issued their approval. I can see at any point in time where an application is in the process through the portal, and the customer can see that as well. So if they have questions about where something is, they can log on and they can see the tracking status. They can see the last person that touched it. They can see comments from the various reviewers. And that has a lot of value. And you can do that whether you're in the city of Memphis and in Shelby County, or if you're in your office in the headquarters in Ohio or New York or LA.
That makes complete sense, that a lot of the work that's getting done within the division requires a lot of collaboration with other agencies, partner stakeholders, all the fancy words. Now, you and your business services unit, I think it's often called the BSU.
That's right.
were recognized at a recent Acela conference for a project you all worked on called the Develop 901 Project Locator. Can you tell our listeners about this project?
Sure. First, I'll just say that Acela is the name of the vendor
Hmm.
that we use to make the Develop 901 platform available to the public, and it's a tool that's used by cities, counties, and regulatory agencies across the nation and across the world. In fact, but we work together with our friends in the information technology services and the business services unit to create a tool that helps people identify projects that are happening near them. Have you ever driven past a construction site and wondered what is going on over there? What's it going to be?
All the time.
All the time. Everyone has that question when they see something going on in their neighborhood, on their drive home, on their way to work. They always wonder, I wonder what that's going to be. Is it going to be a Chick-fil-A? Is it going to be a bank? Is it going to be a religious institution? What's going up in the places that I visit? Well, the Develop 901 Project Locator helps you to answer that question. You can launch the project locator from develop901.com, and you can enter an address. You can just search the map. If you're interested in specific project types, there are a number of ways that you can search the project locator. But the point is you get to see what's happening all over the county if you're interested. The other thing that's important about the project locator is that many of our processes require that the public receive notice, members of the public, certainly within a certain radius of a project, that they be given notice that the project is happening and some details about what the project is in case they want to make comment on the project's application or their approval process. So this is another opportunity for people to get information about projects like that, where they have the opportunity to make public comment before it goes to one of the various boards or before it goes to the city council or the county commission. So it's certainly a public information tool that people can use, and we encourage you to do that. If you're interested in statistical information on the types of projects that are happening in the county, those kinds of things, that tool will help you understand, how much new construction is happening, how much commercial new construction, how much residential construction is happening in the county or simply in my neighborhood. So it helps you see and understand the trends in construction throughout the county. It's a really cool tool, and we're really proud of it. And in fact, it remains in the top 10 or 15 visited sites on our website. So
Wow.
it gets a lot of clicks.
I could see why. I mean, it's a wealth of information. As a deputy director for a government division, you're having to work on multiple projects all at once. Are there any types of projects that you feel yourself drawn to?
Yeah, it's a really exciting part of the job to get to work on so many diverse projects, often all at once. I think the things I'm most drawn to are the ones that help people have a better experience with our government services. I think first of all, we're residents, right? And we all want to have great interactions when we receive service, customer service. We all want excellence as we're interacting, but we certainly want it when we interact with our government. So that's the frame of mind that I approach all of this work with. How do we every single day make sure that we're delivering excellence to our customers and members of the public? And we have certainly invested a lot of time, energy, and budget into improving what our physical space looks like, so people can interact in great spaces that are collaborative, that are open, that allow for good customer interaction. We've invested a lot in the technology that gives us multiple ways to interact with our customer and essentially opens us up for 24-hour service delivery. We've invested in growing our talent. We take the charge very seriously, and we We will consistently work on improving the Develop 901 Citizen Portal and all of the processes related to how we deliver permits, our application processes. That is our number one commitment: continuous improvement and excellence in customer service delivery.
And I'm sure residents, homeowners, businesses, anyone truly appreciates that amount of investment into the experience. So thank you for contributing to that, Nidia.
Absolutely. And if any member of the listening public has recommendations, has thoughts, you've had a great experience or not so great experience with our office, we love to hear from members of the public. And you can always email us at develop901 at memphistn.gov, and we'll respond promptly.
You mentioned investing in the talent pool. Did you want to elaborate on that?
Yeah, I'd love to. We are always looking for great people to join our team. We have a number of specialized and generalist positions throughout the Division of Planning and Development. There are 6 departments within the division. And so if you are interested in or working in the field of land use planning, transportation planning, long range planning, or if you are working in or interested in the construction trades, so building, electrical, mechanical, plumbing trades, then there could be a place for you within the Division of Planning and Development. One of the things that I think about all the time when I think about the future of the division and the county as it relates to planners and members of the construction trade is the decreasing rate of young professionals that are going into government service and into the construction trades. And of course, as a government entity, that's something that we're concerned about and very eager to encourage people to consider careers in government service, as well as think about how local trade schools might be able to prepare you for a lucrative and exciting career in the construction trades. And you don't have to just work on a construction site, but we have a team of inspectors that do a range of inspection types for building, plumbing, electrical, mechanical work that's being done on residential and commercial structures all throughout the county. So there's so many things, so much depth in the construction trades, and so many ways that you can use that skill set. The same is true of professionals that work in planning. We have individuals with backgrounds in architecture, that have backgrounds in construction, and certainly that are classically trained as planners that work in the division. So there are a range of skill sets that we get to put to work every day to ensure the safety of buildings and structures in Shelby County, but who are also thinking about what our county and our neighborhoods are going to look like in the short term and the near term. And, we need a diverse pool of talent to continue to do that. So we encourage people who are thinking about their next career move, who are thinking about their educational choice, to consider a career in public service, but specifically to think about the Division of Planning and Development. There's so many things that can be done just within this one division. Communications. We have a business services unit that have a range of technology skills. And of course, we've talked about planners and construction professionals, but we would love to have conversations with people who are interested in how they could take their first or next step in the division.
Yeah, if you have questions about maybe how you can find your next career with the Division of Planning and Development, email us at our podcast email, buildingbeat@memphistn.gov. And maybe we'll even discuss your question on another episode. Well, Nidia, thank you for coming to talk to me and our listeners today about the Citizen Portal, everything that's been put into it, everything that it's become. It's clear that a lot of people use it, and I'm sure they'll find it interesting to know just how much work went into the platform that they see today.
Thank you so much for having me. It has been a pleasure to discuss the Develop 901 platform with you today. And I hope someone's interest has been piqued in how they might be able to work with the Division of Planning and Development.
And on that note, thank you for joining us for this episode of The Building Beat. We'll see you next time. Thank you for listening to The Building Beat. Executive producers are Director John Zena and Deputy Director Nidia Logan-Robinson. Associate producer is me, Breana Miller. Special thanks to Ina Esco, artist in residence with the Memphis Library Foundation and the Memphis Public Libraries. The song featured in the show is Hush by the Mason Fair. This is a production of the Memphis and Shelby County Division of Planning and Development. To learn more about this podcast and our work, visit our website at develop901.com.